Good morning. Welcome to another video. This one's going to be about preparing for winter when you're living in a van, and in particular me preparing for winter in my van, or should I say me and Rupert. Okay, let's dive straight into it. This is going to be my second winter living in a van. The first one obviously was last winter. Now, I had a small van then, I had a Citroen Dispatch, and if you haven't seen my videos where I tell you why I live in a van, I'll put a link in the description of this one so that you can go and find it easy enough. But yeah, so last July, end of last July, I moved into my small Citroen van because I had to get out of my house. And I wasn't prepared. Well, I was slightly prepared. I'd insulated it because I knew it was going to be cold in the winter, but that's all I really knew. It was the end of July. It was a good time for me to start van life, to get in the van, because obviously I had summer coming. And I went through summer, no problems at all. But I didn't realise at the time that winter was going to come really quickly. I know that sounds silly because we all know that winter's coming after autumn, but I was really totally unprepared, and I learnt a lot last winter. And this winter, I'm learning from my mistakes. So let's start off with the van and what I've actually got to do with the van before winter comes. Now, I've obviously already started this process. The van's pretty much insulated. There are a few more bits that I've got to do. I'll show you in a minute. And I've also now fitted my diesel heater, which is one of the major things that I needed to do before winter came. As you can see in the background, my back doors, they're all insulated and they're covered with plastic which acts as a vapour barrier to help stop the condensation, but they're not lined. Okay, so I need to line those with plywood, and once they've been lined, I need to cover them with something to act as a draft excluder, if you like. Back doors on these vans notoriously are drafty. Well, they can be drafty, especially on old vans. They don't fit like they were when they were new. I've had to adjust the back doors on my van because they wouldn't close properly when I first got it. So they're going to be drafty, and I need to work out some way of mitigating that, if you like, of stopping the worst of the draft coming through. They're not bad, but trust me, come the depths of winter, when it's howling outside and it's freezing cold, I'll feel it. So I'll need to sort that out. There's also lots of bits and pieces in the van that I haven't finished in respect of boarding, little bits of insulation. I'll just show you now the bits that I'm talking about. They're not major, but I need to get them done. Let me show you. Okay, so at the back of the van, up on the roof there, this has got to be finished. This has got to be insulated and sealed off. And so is that side piece down there. And so is that side piece down there. Don't worry about these cables. They're all disconnected. They're just going to the lights that were on the top of the van. I've left them there because I didn't know what to do with them, but they're going to be sorted out. I just need to cut them off. But these are the bits where these vans let in drafts, cold air. There's actually a hole there. You can see it in the back door where there was a lock that I didn't have a key for, and I had to drill it out, I had to get it out. So that's got to be covered so that there's no draft coming in there. During the summer, that's not been a problem because it was just a bit more ventilation. But I've got to get serious about that now and sort that out. So somehow, if you got any ideas for me, once I've boarded this out, insulated this and boarded this down the side, I'm probably going to get some sort of covering, some sort of material, fabric, whatever, across there. If you got any ideas, drop them in the comments. Now this bit up here, okay, is just piece of this tongue and groove that's got to be put up there. I haven't done it yet because I don't know how to do it, because it's not straight, okay? It goes, it's thin down that end and it gets fatter as it comes up this end. I just haven't learned how to do it, and it hasn't been important to me up to now, but I will need to get that sorted out. Right, this section at the back that's above my bed is all insulated. It's got the vapor barrier plastic on there. I've just got to board that out with the tongue and grooved like I did up there. The reason I haven't done that is because, just purely and simply because of funds, really. I've had more important things that I've needed to spend my money on. So that's why that hasn't been done. Right. Rupert's sleeping. Okay, now the side door, as you can see, I haven't touched, or the panel above it. And the reason is, the panel above it, the reason is because when I ripped all the electrics out of this, I didn't know what I was going to put in the van electric-wise. And I left that open so that I could run some cables through. But I'm not going to put anything else in the van now, apart from a fridge, when I can afford a fridge. And I don't need that opened up now. So that bit's easy at the top there. I've just got to insulate that and bolt it over. The big dilemma is that side door, okay? Because I've got to be honest, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And the reason is because when the side door opens, the inside of it gets wet when it's raining, obviously. Okay, the water just comes in, runs down it, to the point where it makes the seat wet here. The step gets wet. So this is a dilemma for me, and I will be really interested if there's anybody out there that's got any suggestions or experience on what to do with these side doors. Please let me know in the comments. I'll be very grateful. I'm looking for a solution to that, but that has got to be done. That's a priority. I need something where I can't carpet it in my, well, I'm not going to carpet it, because when you open the door, the carpet's just going to get soaking wet. Same with boarding, really, although with boarding, at least I could varnish it so that I could wipe it off. That's probably going to be the answer. But that is a dilemma for me, and I would be very grateful if anybody's got a solution that they can suggest to me. What do you think, Rupert? Now, as you know from my previous videos, my heater's all installed now and it's boarded in. I'm not sure if you've seen that yet. It might be in a video that's coming out later on in the week. But the heater's all done, working perfectly, boarded in. There's my little air, my hot air vent there coming out there. So I'm perfectly happy with that. I'm actually going to build a boot rack on the top of there. I've just got those boots resting on there because we've not long been back for a walk. But that side of it's done. Okay, so let's get on with the rest of what's got to be done on the van. There's a little bit of paintwork that I need to do on the outside. I started it in the summer, rubbed it down, primed it, undercoated it, and then didn't top coat it. I know, don't even go there. So I need to put a couple of coats of Hammerite on both of the sills, and there's a little section, the pillar down by the driver's door, that's got a bit of rust on it that needs rubbing down and sealing up with some Hammerite. I know I could get it, well, I couldn't afford to put it in a proper garage, a paint shop, and have it done. It cost me a fortune. I just haven't got that sort of money. And I don't need to. But I do need to get it protected. So that needs to be done. The other thing that needs to be done is I need to get an engine, full engine service done, because I need to make sure that this engine's going to get me through at least this winter and hopefully several more. But yeah, I need to get that fully serviced, have antifreeze done, whatever it needs. I'm not a mechanic. I don't know much about engines, but I know that the oil needs to be changed. I need to get the antifreeze, or to make sure that it's protected, whatever needs doing for the winter. And also, it was MOT'd recently, and there was one tyre that needed changing. They did that, but I also advised that there's another tyre that's getting low, so I need to get that sorted as well, because obviously the roads are going to be wet and slippery. That needs to be done. The last thing I want to talk about, as far as the actual van's concerned, is the floor. Now, I've boarded the floor, and I have stained and varnished it. But I need to get at least another one, hopefully 2 coats of varnish on the floor, because in and out the van, especially when you've got a dog, I'll come to that in a minute, but in and out the van, the floor just gets wet and dirty, muddy, whatever. No matter how much you try and take your boots off outside and la-di-da-di-da, all that stuff, trust me, when there's 100-mile-an-hour winds outside and it's peeing down with rain, it's not easy. The floor's going to get wet. The floor's going to get dirty. So I need to get a couple more coats of varnish on that to protect it, so that it's easy to clean, easier to wipe down. As far as the surface of it goes, that's all I'm going to do. I have actually got a bit of carpet down here, just a little off-cut of carpet, a runner that I put down there. But as you can see, this is really just from today. It's already got dirty. It's going to get smelly. That's going. Varnish the floor down there, and I'll probably get some mats that I can put in the washing machine or whatever for that area there. Right, well, that's pretty much it as far as what I've actually got to do to the van is concerned. But there are other issues as well that I'm going to talk about now. This is all really about comfort, okay, being comfortable in the van. Assuming that I've done all the rest of the stuff, I've got my heat, it's about being comfortable in the van. And also just in life, going out the van and everything else. So I've been and sorted out my old, or my winter stuff that was in a black bag in my storage container, which is where I put it after last winter. Jumpers, thermals, hats, gloves, scarves. I found the bag. It smelt a bit musty, so straight down the laundrette with that. And I put it all in a wash. It now all smells lovely. They're good clothes, good jumpers, good thick woolly jumpers and everything for the winter. So I've done that. And I've also bought myself a new pair of boots, because I don't like my feet being wet when I'm walking around in like leather boots or whatever. That's no good in the winter. I need a good pair of boots, especially for walking Rupert where we go. I'll show you them now. There's my nice new boots that I bought for the winter. They're rubber at the bottom. They're like wellies, totally waterproof, and then they're insulated. They're called snow boots, I think they call them, but they'll do me perfect. They'll last me at least a year. £25 they were, I think. Bargain. Continuing on with the comfort theme, if you like, or how I'm going to keep comfortable in the winter. Having a dog in the van has got its drawbacks, because I take Rupert out twice a day at least. Every morning we go out, and every evening, so that he can do his business, stretch his legs and all the rest of it. But I have to do that whatever the weather. Now, Rupert doesn't like the rain, but he still needs to go out and do his business. So he's got a coat that I put on in the rain, and he knows he has to go out and do it. We're not out for long, but you don't have to be out for long in the winter when it's raining. His coat gets soaked. He comes in the van. He jumps in the van, muddy feet. He's wet. His belly's wet. His legs are wet. Now, I can dry him off to a certain extent, and obviously I will do that in the winter. You don't have to worry about this in the summer. But when he gets in the van, I'll dry him off as much as I possibly can, but he'll still be damp. So I need to get another couple of covers for my bed, so that when he comes in and he jumps on the bed, it's not going to get on the quilt. All right, so I need to sort something out for that. Just a couple of lightweight covers that I can change quickly and easily. Put one in the wash and put another one on, because otherwise the van will get smelly and musty. All right, it will anyway to a certain extent, because I'll have a wet dog in the van. I can't dry him off completely. You know, I'm not going to get air dryer on him or anything like that. So from a comfort point of view, I've got to try and address that as best I can. This is the reality of van life, by the way. I'm sure there are people out there cringing, saying, oh, I couldn't do that. Well, I've got to do it. I live in a van, and I live in a van with my dog. So we've got to get around these things. We've just got to stay positive, get around these things, all right? And when he does get back in the van, just the same as when I get back in the van when I've been out in the rain, wet coat, wet boots, wet stuff, his wet stuff, his wet coat, lead, harness. It's all got to come back in the van. You know, it's got to come back in the van. So the heater's going to help a lot with that because it will dry things off. But it is still going to be a problem with musty smells. There's no getting around it. There is no way of getting around it. Not that I know. If there's any dog owners out there that live in a van full time and can give me some hints or tips as to how I can keep my van smelling nice and fresh, please drop them in the comments below. I mean, obviously there's air fresheners. I don't like using air fresheners in the van because I've got a dog, Rupert. He's got a sensitive nose like all dogs, and I don't think it's fair. I have adequate ventilation and I have the windows and doors open as much as I can. But it's an issue in the winter and it's something that I need to address. So if you've got any tips or tricks for me, stick them down in the comments. I'll be really pleased to see them. And the last thing I'm going to talk about on the subject of preparing for winter is earning money. This is very much from my perspective because of what I do, but it's going to be, if you're living in a van, especially full time, it's going to have an impact on you the winter. I've found it does anyway. Let me give you some examples. I've got a little business unit. It's a storage container. It's a shipping container, a metal box. In the winter, it is like a fridge. I have got a little electric heater in there because I've got power in the unit. But to be perfectly honest with you, it hardly touches the surface. It slightly takes the chill off of it. But I certainly couldn't be working in there for very long. Now, if you don't already know, the reason I've got a business unit is because I sell online. I sell stuff online, mainly on eBay. But I also now make YouTube videos, as you can tell. So I do a lot of work on my computer and online. In the winter, in a storage container, that is brutal. It is so cold in there. So I've got to make arrangements. I've got to adapt myself so that I can do more work in my van because this is where I've got my heater. I have got a solution to this, as you'll see in the next video. So I'm not going to go into it in great detail, but I need to make sure that I can work in my van with my laptop. I need lights. I need Wi-Fi, I need power. So that's something that I've got to sort out before winter. And the other thing that is going to impact me as far as money's concerned, earning money's concerned, is that in the winter, the opportunities to be out selling stuff on a market, a car boot sale, are much more limited. It's not to say you can't do it. It's okay when it's cold, I can wrap up nice and warm, but when it's raining, it's a no-no. Nobody goes to car boot sales when it's raining. And there's going to be a lot of days when the car boot sales are on when it's going to be raining and I'm not going to be able to go and earn money. So somehow I've got to mitigate that by finding other ways of earning money. And I'm in the process of doing that at the moment. I've got a YouTube channel, obviously, and I earn a little. Well, I've never had a penny from it yet, but I'm hoping to get something this month or within the next week or so from the last 5 months that I've been running this YouTube channel, because I'm going to earn a little bit of money off of the adverts that pop up on my videos. It's going to be tiny, but everything helps, and I've got to find ways of making more money or making money online. That's what I'm looking into at the moment. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. I've got some ideas, but certainly that's something that I'm preparing for the winter, because my income capability is going to be lower in the winter. I can still do my online sales, but I won't be able to go out and earn enough money on the markets, car boot sales, as you can in the summer. I'll still be able to do it, but not as much, and it will be out of my control. It'll be a case of whether or not it's going to be raining or not that particular Saturday, for instance. Well, I think I've covered just about everything that I wanted to, certainly that I thought of. I've no doubt I'll think of something after I finish the video, I always do. But as I said before, the purpose of this video is about getting prepared for winter. And I'm giving you my thoughts and my experiences of what's happened in the past and what I've got to do for the future, hoping that this will help somebody out there who maybe hasn't thought of these things or hasn't experienced it before, hasn't been through it before, to get themselves together, because you need to do it now and really get your act together and get prepared for winter, whether it's because of your earnings, your money, stuff that needs doing in the van, your comfort inside the van, making sure you've got the right clothes, boots, all that sort of stuff. I'm hoping that this video is going to help somebody to make winter a little bit easier. Don't get me wrong, I like winter, I like all the seasons, but winter is certainly one that you've really got to prepare for. So I hope you find some value in this video. Let me know in the comments. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I'd be really grateful if you did, if you like it. And also hit the like button. It is going to help me to grow my channel, which I need to do. I'm going to wind this up now. So stay warm out there. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.